When the old designer store downtown went out of business and was razed to the ground, the moldy crater where it had stood was adorned with posters illustrating a luminescent housing development that was about to be erected in its location. So tall, one could almost see England from its top floors. But when the builders of the new structure went bankrupt, the posters faded from the seasonal weather changes and soon were no more than gaping metal boards. To make some use of them, and to slightly alleviate the heavy moods of old jewelers strolling the city streets, and ladies with aging dogs peeking out of handbags, City Hall took charge and put up ornate watercolors of the imploded designer store back in its golden years. Soon, families with strollers readjusted their daily walks to no longer avoid the downtown. The elegant toddlers found themselves in a reverie, musing about the building that used to stand there. An activity healthy enough that no one objected when a similar set of posters went up down the street at the site of a former bookstore that had suddenly run out of customers. A waterfront natural history museum was next to go. Its implosion was met with unforeseen geographic cataclysms, a landslide making the waterfront disappear along with the building. Nevertheless, murals were erected, showing in splendid brushstrokes the glory days of the museum and of the creatures there. The oldest tavern in town closed down shortly thereafter. Award-winning musicians were invited to play at its demolition, timing their melodies with the metronome of the battering ram. Soon, there were resplendent pencil sketches around, demonstrating the tavern's unique Victorian architecture and the fraternal spirit that had made its customers feel immortal. The circus was next, then the zoo, then the opera house. Law firms followed suit. Like a house of cards, the casino folded. Jails were swiftly dismantled, sometimes at night, to slow the onset of anarchy. A house of worship was turned into a swimming pool, but then there was no more water for people to swim in. And all that was left was a brand new radiant mural portraying the house of worship, while a small poster of the swimming pool curled up near one of its corners. City Hall was the last to fall. Its grand edifice was the hardest to sketch. So intricately it wove various dead-end corridors, visible even from the outside of the building. A conscious metaphor for the way they did business, back when there was a city. Finally, a great artist answered the call, succeeded at painting the building, and then it was gone. A cloud of old dust hovering over deserted streets, the city of murals and posters stood silent in summertime, offering no spin, no bias, no right way to think to the amateur photographer that happened to wander onto the old city streets one day, his battery fully charged. He tried to take pictures, but only took pictures of pictures. And pictures of pictures had always interested him less than any other pictures. So, he jumped back in his car, kicking up a cloud of sand with its all-wheel drive, and turned his attention to the forest of reeds and ferns, which reached much higher now than the highest penthouse.